Okay, I have an original effect to share with you today. And so we need 8 random red cards and 8 random black cards. And so the spectator can mix the cards as much as they like. I guess technically they could even choose the 8 red and 8 black. It won't matter if we actually see them, but okay, so there's a red, black, 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 red, black, black, red, red, red. Boy, a lot of diamonds over there. Black, black. I might be going over on the numbers here. 2, 4, 6. I think just one more red. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so we'll go ahead and gather those up. Okay. Now, since the two of us kind of saw the cards, why don't we kind of mix them up? In fact, we're going to use a really cool way of mixing cards well, and I'll show you how well the cards are mixed in a second. What you do is you push off the top 2 and you put them out like that, next 2, next 2. So you do it in a triangle pattern, kind of fun. And then you just stack the piles in the opposite order. So stack them counterclockwise. And then from there we do a mange over, under, or an under, over. It's your choice. You want to over, under? Okay, so this is where you go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Okay, well, just to help convince you of how well mixed the cards are, let's just show them here. And it actually won't matter if I see them. So here we go. Do you see how well mixed those are? Okay. In fact, we're going to now mix them with input from you. In fact, you're going to decide really about everything. Okay, so why don't we, I guess since we both saw the cards, not that either one of us has a photographic memory, how would you like these stacked? Right on left? So we can do as many dealing outs into 2 piles with random stacking decided by the spectator. You can do as many dealing outs into 4 piles with random stacking from left to right. You want right to left? From left to right or right to left, or even leapfrog stacking if you've seen that before. We can do an even or odd. This is an even up jog in which we jog forward the even position cards. Strip those out. Have the spectator tell you how to stack those. Maybe right on left. Okay. We could actually do a feral shuffle. We could actually do a down under, which will take a while because of the number of cards, but you could do a down, under, down, under. You want me to do a down, under? Okay, well, that's fine. It's going to take a bit. So you go down, under, down, under, down, under, down, down, under, down, under, down, under, down. Under, down, under, down, under, down. The last one goes on top. Okay, I think these cards are well mixed. I think you would have to agree with that. Now, I'll add a link in the description below to what are called Bessie sequences and Quasi-Bessie sequences, which is what we're working with here, so that you can learn the many, many ways to mix these and not harm them. Okay, so we've just applied a few of them. And you probably don't need to apply very many of them to convince the spectator that the cards really should be beyond the knowledge of anyone, which is a true statement up to a point. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to count off, so not deal off, count off half the cards. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, set those down, and then we're going to do a rosette shuffle. Okay, so it's mathematically equivalent to a riffle shuffle. Okay, and so these cards just come together however they may actually bump up against each other like that. Okay, very good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use an almost superhuman sensitivity to the cards that I've developed over the last 30 plus years. Okay, so I'm going to take these cards behind my back, and I'm going to separate them into 2 piles or 2 groups of 8 cards, but I'm going to do it in such a way that each pile is kind of balanced. There's a harmony for each pile or within each pile, okay? And that harmony will be that there'll be an equal number of red cards and black cards within each set of 8, okay? And if you think about that, that should be impossible because the cards could be arranged in countless different ways here. Okay, so I'm going to take these cards behind my back. Now, of course, since I can't do that on camera here, I'm going to show you what I'm doing behind my back. Okay, so you don't show the spectator this. Okay, so behind my back, all I'm going to do is, now you can kind of claim that, you know, you can make noises with the cards or whatever, like you're moving things around. But all you need to do is quietly count off the top 8 cards. That's all you need to do. So you just kind of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, you know, you can do other weird things just to make it more dramatic, I guess, for the spectator. And then you just bring the cards out from the back of you and set them down and say, well, let's see if I've lost my touch. I believe each of these have a perfect balance of red and black cards. And I never missed this once I perfected my skill for this remarkable card separation. Okay, so let's just see. Was I able to separate them into half red, half black? Let's see. So we're looking for 4 red and 4 black in each pile. Let's move that over. So we have black, a red, black, black, red, red. Okay, we're getting down. Okay, we're just hoping this one's red. Oh, it is indeed. We nailed it, or I nailed it. Okay, so we get black, red, 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 black, black, red, black. Oh, wow. Take a look at that. So, this uses what are called a Bessie sequence of a Quasi-Bessie sequence of order 16. Get my vocabulary right. Okay, so a Quasi-Bessie sequence of order 16. It looks like this, denoted with 0s and 1s, a little overwhelming, or with red and black labels. Now, there's a really slick way of getting it into this organization, which is actually what I showed you. Okay, so you don't need to memorize this at all for this effect. Ultimately, it's a powerful sequence to remember, and it's actually one that's not too hard to remember because the first half is, quote, a Bessie sequence of order 8. Okay, so it's 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay. And then over here, it's just the reverse of that sequence. You just read that sequence in the opposite order. And so there you go. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. Those put together constitute a Quasi-Bessie sequence of order 16. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, there's a really slick way of putting it into this organization. And so we'll go ahead and work with the cards face up, maybe, just so you can see what's going on. So do you remember what I did? I had 2 groups of 8 cards, 8 red, 8 black. Okay, you just stack the groups. And then I pushed off 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And then the first pile that was dealt to is this one. You pick it up first and stack in opposite order, so counterclockwise. And now, so it's not there yet. It won't be in this organization yet. We have to perform one additional simple step. You perform an over-under or an under-over mange shuffle. And that will do the job. That will finish the arranging of these cards as a Quasi-Bessie sequence of order 16. So you can see here, red, black, black, red, black, red, red, black. You can read that. Black, red, red, black, red, black, black, red. Okay. So what ends up being true, and as I mentioned, I'll have a link in the description below where you can learn the whys behind all of this. But this particular organization of a packet of 16 cards is invariant or unharmed by many of the most common systematic mixing procedures used today. Okay, so for example, we can deal out the cards into 2 piles. with random stacking from left to right or right to left decided by the spectator. So you can do as many of those as you like. You can do one of them or 79 of them, whatever the spectator can handle in terms of just watching you deal out into 2 piles. You can deal out into 4 piles, random stacking from left to right, right to left, or leapfrog stacking. This is where this card over here leaps over its neighbor, lands there. This one leaps over its neighbor, lands there. Random stacking here. Okay, these are all talked about in that little series I'll link down below. You can do up jogs, even or odd. You can do Pharaoh shuffles. You can do the Australian down under, which is what I did. Okay, and that one takes a little bit of work because of the size of the packet. A random stacking here decided by the spectator, right on left, okay? And many, many other ways to mix the cards. But I think if you mix the cards with the spectator kind of telling you how to stack things and how many times to perform certain shuffles, they really should be convinced that the cards are beyond the knowledge of anyone, okay? And that's a reasonable assumption. But the fact is, because of the structure of this packet, as you can see, we haven't really harmed anything. We still have red, black, black, red, black, red, red, black, black, red, red, black, red, black, black, red. Okay. Now, it can happen that the reds and blacks switch places. It's like the zeros and ones switch places, but that's technically still a Bessie sequence of order 16, and it's perfectly acceptable. It won't undermine anything. Here we actually preserved it exactly in terms of reds and blacks. Okay, now what we did from there is relatively new on my channel. We performed a riffle shuffle of a Quasi-Bessie sequence of order 16. Now, this isn't a Gilbreth shuffle. For one thing, we don't reverse count any of the cards. Here what we do, if you remember, I counted off. Don't reverse the cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So this is a different principle than the Gilbreth principle. Okay? And new, I should say. Okay, and now if you riffle shuffle these, or something equivalent to a riffle shuffle is this rosette shuffle where you just spin them and bring them together, they're going to have a kind of predictable structure at the end that you can take advantage of. And let me just show you what it is. Put those there. So on my write-up, I have down here below. So after the rosette shuffle, this is the first 8 cards, like top 8 cards of the packet, bottom 8. Now what will be true, and so you can take advantage of more of these fine details I'm giving you here, or you can just do what I did in this performance, and it will work just great. The top 2 cards will consist of a 0 and a 1 in some order. The bottom 2 cards will consist of a 0 and 1 in some order. We won't know the order. In terms of colors, it'll be a red and black up here, in some order, red and black here. Now, the next 6 cards from the top will consist of 3 red and 3 black, or we can think of 3 zeros, 3 ones. The next 6 will be 3 red, 3 black, or 3 zeros and 3 ones, and then we've already pointed out that you'll have 2 reds and 2 blacks at the very end. Now, one thing that you can see by just adding is the top 8 cards is guaranteed to have 4 red and 4 black, and the bottom force would then have 4 red and 4 black. Okay, so taking it behind my back, all I have to do is just kind of pretend that I'm doing something interesting, right? When in fact, all I did was I just counted off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then brought these out. And this one here is guaranteed to have an equal number of red and black, as is the case for this one here. Okay, so if you wanted to, let me just put these back for a second. I could have brought out the top 2. I could say, okay, well, those feel like those are like in harmony. Those are in balance there. And then I could have counted off the next 6, right? 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now these would have the same number of red and black in them. The next 6 again would, okay? And then the final 2. And then what you could do is just, you know, I guess what you could do is you could reveal these individually. Say, boy, I feel like each of these have 1 red and 1 black. And then these have 3 red and 3 black. Okay, now what I did was these were combined, so I just had 4 red, 4 black. So that would just be another way to go if you want to use more of the information here. So let me just put this out. Red. Okay, so there, 3 red, 3 black. Okay, black, black, red, red, black, red, and then of course black and red in some order. Okay, so if you just want to go with the top 8, we'll have 4 of each color. Bottom 8 will have 4 of each color. That might be a good way to go to simplify things. But there are some nuances that you could introduce because of the true resulting structure after you rosette shuffle a Quasi-Bessie sequence of order 16 in the way that we've shown you here. So anyway, thank you for watching, and take a look at that series I've linked below. There's much to explore there in terms of powerful mathematical ideas, as well as there are many, many incredible card performances using the power of Quasi-Bessie sequences and Bessie sequences to pull off routines that have never been seen before, and quite honestly may not even be achievable in any other way except working with these special structures I talk about in that series. So thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.